Hey guys, welcome back to some more ghost reaction videos. Oh yeah, can't wait to get stuck into this one. 13 haunting ghost stories. Ho ho! Apparently they're true as well. I'm not going to be sleeping tonight. Uh-oh. But anyway guys, without further ado, let's check it out. Boom.
These are true stories based on submissions from the BuzzFeed Unsolved Network audience. These are their encounters.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
One night when I was in 7th grade, I had two friends sleeping over, and we were in my basement. My brother, who was around 7 at the time, had bought himself a new Furby and got bored of it after a few weeks. Then it sat untouched in the basement closet. As you may know, Furbies sometimes begin to talk when they are moved, yet they only speak gibberish, not English. This night, it was around 4 a.m., and we had all the lights out, and it was silent. We were laying down to go to bed, and out of nowhere, we hear this Furby's voice say, "Come play with me," and then it laughed. At the time, I didn't know it didn't speak English, so we wrote it off and went to bed. To my horror, in the morning when I checked on it, not only does it not speak English, it also had no batteries.
Oh my lad.
I was a freshman in college.
One of those.
It was late at night, and my friends and I were on our way home after watching a play at one of the campus theaters. As we were nearing the College of Education building, I looked up to the sky and saw a woman jump from the topmost floor. I told my friends, and we ran over to the front lawn of the building to help the woman. But when we got there, she was gone. The guard came rushing over to us because I was so loud about it. My friends didn't see her because I was the only one who felt the urge to look up. The guard helped calm me down from the nearest area, then told me that I must have seen the ghost of a woman who had jumped to her death from that building years ago, because it was the anniversary of her death.
That is scary, that.
In 2015, I went on a trip to DC for the 4th of July with my family. This was our second trip to DC, so we decided to take the last day of our trip, the 4th of July, to go visit Mount Vernon, George Washington's estate in Virginia. It was the middle of the day, scorching hot, and there was absolutely no air conditioning in the house, aside from a few fans, placed sparingly.
Oh man, I was talking about scorching hot, but wow, isn't it hot today? Woo! I think it was hitting 23 outside today, man. We need some aircon in the UK. Gets so hot. But anyway.
I'm a huge history buff, so I was very excited about touring the home and knew a lot about George Washington and his state previously. So I knew that he passed away in his bedroom in 1799. But that's definitely not what I was thinking about when our tour guide led our group upstairs to see said bedroom. His bedroom had a lot of really delicate artifacts in it, so we weren't allowed to go inside, and there were little plastic barriers preventing us from doing so, but you could stick your head into the room and look around. For some reason, I was the only one in the group who decided to take a look. When I stuck my head into the room, I was immediately struck by how absolutely freezing cold it was in there, and I don't mean that there was a light breeze. It was as if I had stuck the upper half of my body into a walk-in freezer.
Definitely
I was confused by this because there didn't seem to be any air conditioning in the room, so I looked around to try to see if there was any fan or AC unit that I just wasn't noticing. But I didn't see one. I decided to take my head out of the room and ask our tour guide why it was so cold in there. But then I realized that I couldn't move. I was paralyzed from the waist up.
Whoa.
Every part of my body that was in the room was completely stuck in place. I struggled to pull myself out, but couldn't. I started to panic and tried to open my mouth to call for help. But when I opened my mouth, no sound came out. All of a sudden, from the other side of the room, where there was a little piece of furniture, a mirror, and a water basin, probably where Washington washed his face and shaved in the morning, I felt what I can describe as nothing other than a pair of eyes staring at me, almost like the sensation of someone staring.
Holy shit. Imagine being there and being paralyzed and can't move and that. Oh, it'd be dreadful.
Staring at you while you sleep. I didn't see a figure or anything, but I felt this huge and intimidating presence walk towards me and stare me down. It was horrifying, and I physically could not tell you how much time passed in that moment, because it really felt like it could have been an hour, but I guess it was only a few seconds. After a while, I finally broke free from my paralysis and almost fell backwards onto my butt. My mom asked me what was wrong, and I told her that I wanted to leave. She didn't believe me when I told her the story later, but it still scares me to this day.
Yeah, it would, mate.
When I was around 8 or 9 years old, my mom told me to go to bed early on a summer night, so I threw a fit and began screaming at my mom, "I hate you!" My mom always told me never to go to bed angry, because the devil can possess you and steal you.
Oh, shit.
After slamming my bedroom door shut, I turned off the lights and laid down. It was near midnight, and I was still angry. Suddenly, I heard tapping by my door. I had chills run up my arms. Then I heard a voice call to me. It sounded like my brother's voice, but he was calling me a nickname my mom used for me. I figured it was my brother, so I started yelling at him to go away. The voice taunted me with the nickname until my mom ran into the room and turned on the lights. "What are you yelling at?" I sat up and noticed she was the only person in my room. I told her my brother came into my room and started calling my name. She looked pale. "Your brother is sound asleep in my room." It was exactly 12 a.m. on the clock when my mom walked into my room, and it was freezing even though my window was closed and the AC was turned off. There was something in my room that night. And to this day, nobody in my family understands what happened. All I know is that I'll never go to bed angry ever again.
Bloody hell. I've been in bed angry loads. Never had no one tapping or calling me in it now.
Last year, I went to the coast of Rhode Island for my cousin's wedding. We were just a few miles from the Lizzie Borden house. We get to the wedding venue, and it's this old, big, creepy-looking mansion. Immediately, my spooky senses were tingling. I made a few offhanded comments about how it seemed like this would be a place that was haunted, but within a few minutes, I was distracted by the festivities, and all thoughts of ghosts escaped my mind.
I get that when I go in like spooky buildings, like real weird sensation. It's hard to explain. Must be paranormal.
The wedding was out behind the mansion, where we could see the water, so everyone had moved from inside to the back lawn. All afternoon, my cousin and my aunts had me grab things for them. Eventually, one of them asked me to get a hair clip she had left in the dressing room area. The dressing room area was in the upstairs part of the mansion. Only people in the wedding party were allowed access up there. As I ascended the red velvet spiral staircase, the spooky feeling started coming back to me. Suddenly, I felt like every portrait on the walls were watching my every move. As I went into the dressing room, I decided I would just grab the hair clip and run. I walked to the large table and found the clip. As I was getting ready to run out of the room, I saw my reflection in the mirror on the other side of the room. My hair had gotten all messed up from running around, so I stopped to fix it. As I was standing facing the mirror with my back to the open door of the room, I saw what looked like the form of a person standing in the door just over my shoulder. Frozen, I stare at the white figure of a person in the mirror for a few seconds. Quickly regaining my composure, I turned around and looked at the door. No one was there. I swear that I had just seen an old white gentleman. I couldn't make out the clothes he was wearing, but I definitely knew that no one in the wedding party looked like him, since we are an Asian family. So if it was a random guest, they wouldn't have been allowed to go upstairs where I was. While I was standing, looking around in confusion and mild fear, the door to the bathroom began shaking and banging, like someone was locked in there and they were trying to get out. Thinking it was just a bridesmaid that was stuck in the bathroom.
Hell no!
Most doors were creaky and jammed frequently. I went and easily opened the door. No one was inside the small bathroom. Scared out of my wits, I made a run for it. In my fancy dress and 6-inch heels, I ran back down the red velvet spiral stairs and didn't look back until I was outside.
This is 6-inch heels. Yeah, it's probably a woman telling this story.
Later that night, the bride's hairstylist told me he saw the same apparition of a man, just minutes before I did.
Boom! Right, guys, I'm going to cut it there because I have to make quite a short video because I've got to be somewhere, but I'll be back tomorrow with the second half of this anyway. I'm looking forward to it. Those stories are quite spooky, aren't they? But anyway, guys, thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. I appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Bye!